Hello everyone, I'm Varsha Venugopal and you're watching KATV India. India's industrial growth is showing signs of slowing down. In July 2025, the growth in the country's core industries, which are the backbone of our economy, slowed sharply to just 2%. This is a big drop compared to 6.3% growth in the July last year. Even last month, June 2025, growth was slightly better at 2.2%. So clearly, the momentum is slowing. Now, when we talk about core industries, we mean the 8 sectors that drive industrial activity. These are coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, fertilizers, steel, cement, and electricity. While some sectors like steel and cement are doing well, others are especially fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas are dragging down the overall growth. Let's look at the numbers. Coal fell by whopping 12.3% in July. This is its second consecutive month of decline and the worst in at least 5 years. Natural gas has been shrinking for 13 months in a row, down 3.2% in July. Crude oil contracted 1.3%, marking 14 months of mostly negative growth. Because of these declines, refinery products, which include petrol and diesel, also fell by 1.05%. Experts say this slowdown is not just about demand. Global crude oil prices have been steady at around $60 to $70 per barrel. And the rise of electric vehicles is reducing consumption of petrol and diesel in cars. On the brightest side, steel grew 12.8%, its strongest in 21 months. Cement grew 11.7%, the best in 4 months. Fertilizers returned to growth with 2%, ending 3 months of decline. Electricity rose slightly by 0.5%, also recovering after 2 months of contraction. So while some sectors are performing well, the slump in fossil fuels is clearly dragging down the overall core sector growth. Now, what does this slowdown mean for India and for everyday life? Impact on industries and jobs. Industries that depend on coal, oil and gas may face higher costs or delays, like factories that produce plastics, chemicals and fuel-dependent goods might slow down, affecting jobs in these sectors. Effect on transportation. Fuel prices, even though EVs are growing, trucks, buses and trains still rely on diesel and petrol. Less refinery output could create supply pressure and possibly affect fuel prices. Agriculture. Fertilizers, farmers rely on fertilizers to grow crops. Any slowdown in fertilizer production can affect crop yields and ultimately food prices. Electricity. Daily life power generation has grown only slightly. A slowdown here could mean occasional power shortages in industries and even cities during peak demand. Wider economic impact. Core sectors make up a large part of India's index of industrial production and contribute heavily to GDP growth. So slower growth can ripple across the economy, affecting everything from investments to job creation. If take an example, construction companies may benefit from rising cement and steel, but a chemical plant needing coal or oil may face a slowdown. Similarly, consumers might feel it in terms of higher energy or fuel prices. In simple terms, India's industrial engine is running, but some parts are moving slower than others. Fossil fuels are dragging, steel and cement are powering ahead, and everything else is somewhere in between. What happens next depends on how industries and the government respond, whether they can improve energy production, support key sectors, and keep growth moving forward. The key takeaway with this is that even small shifts in these core industry can affect our daily lives, from the fuel we buy, the food we eat, to the buildings we live and work in. So it's something to keep an eye on, because the health of these industries reflects the health of the economy, and that eventually touches each of us in one way or other.